Should I move in with my partner? Is living together before marriage considered illegal in India? Well, not anymore. Last week, the government told the Supreme Court that it will create a national framework to protect live-in relationships. So let's talk about this new development and what it means for you. This is live-in relationships and your rights. Section 1. Are live-in relationships legal in India? Well, first things first, the answer is yes. Adults can choose to live together, and Indian law recognizes such relationships as long as it's based on mutual consent. In fact, the Supreme Court has said that the right to life and personal liberty includes the right to live with dignity, which also means you have the freedom to decide who you want to live with. That's what Justice Chandrachud said in 2022 while striking down the SC guidelines that forced live-in couples to register their relationships. These guidelines were issued in 2009. They were never legally binding, and since these guidelines have been struck down, there is no legal requirement to register your relationship. Now it's completely your personal decision. You can choose to live together, you can choose to not live together, and you don't need to register your relationship with the state for it to be legal. And this is protected under Article 21 of the Constitution, right to life and personal liberty. In simple words, as long as two adults are living together with full knowledge and consent, it's perfectly legal, and courts in India recognize live-in partners under the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, 2005. This act gives women in such relationships the right to seek legal help if they face domestic violence. It protects them from any kind of physical, mental, or emotional abuse. If the relationship is stable and long-term, courts can also grant them maintenance. Section 2. What changed in 2025? A lot, actually. In a significant judgment this year, the Supreme Court has asked states to create legal guidelines to protect people in live-in relationships. These guidelines will help ensure that consenting adults are not harassed by the police or by their families. The court said that law enforcement officers must not unnecessarily interfere with the personal choices of adults. They cannot force live-in couples to separate just because society is not okay with it. The Supreme Court also said that live-in relationships cannot be called immoral or illegal. And most importantly, these guidelines will address issues like abandonment, which is a big concern for many live-in couples. See, one of the biggest problems in such relationships is that if one partner leaves, the other is left with no legal recourse. But now states are being asked to create a framework where couples can register their relationships, and once registered, they will be able to provide proof of consent, shared residence, and cohabitation. This will help couples fight for their rights, especially in cases where there is a dispute over property, inheritance, or child custody. Last month, the Delhi High Court came up with a comprehensive framework for live-in relationships. It allows couples to register their relationships online or offline. The Karnataka High Court has also come up with similar guidelines. Other high courts are expected to follow suit. Section 3. Challenges live-in couples still face. Even though the Supreme Court has made these landmark judgments, live-in couples still face several challenges. Number 1. Lack of awareness. Many people don't know that they have the option to register their relationship. And without registration, proving the legitimacy of the relationship can be tough. Number 2. Social stigma. In a country where 90% of marriages are arranged, living in with a partner you're not married to is still considered taboo. The fear of social stigma often stops couples from choosing to live in together. Number 3. Denial of housing or services. A lot of landlords and service providers still refuse to offer their services to live-in couples. They often ask for a married couple to prove that they're husband and wife. Sometimes couples have to go through extra legal procedures to establish their relationship, and this is especially problematic in cases where one partner dies. In the absence of legal recognition, the surviving partner may be denied inheritance or property rights. To conclude, live-in relationships are no longer legally unsafe in India. They are not illegal, and now the law also recognizes them as valid relationships. But social acceptance is still catching up. Couples today have the right to make their own choices, and the law is on their side. But they also need to be aware of their rights, because love may be personal, but the law is now on your side. All you need to do is know your rights. That's all for tonight. See you next time.